Okay, I have some ugly news and some fabulous news. And it's sort of a rant. This is about end times, and I'm going to pop a few bubbles. And if you hate me, okay. But don't say I didn't warn you. So we're going to talk about some ugly truths. So, you've been lied to. And I can't sit still anymore. So I'm going to rant. So good morning. This is Aunt Beth. Welcome to my lamppost. There are 5 end time myths, I think, if you want to call it that really piss me off. You do you. If you want to be happy clappy and live in your own dream world, okay. But don't say I didn't warn you. 1, and I will prove all of these in Scripture. We'll go through in a separate video each one of these, okay? But number 1, timing. Do we get out of here before everything goes crazy? The answer is no. And I will prove it to you with one scripture, at least, out of the book of Revelation. But the one that you can think about, that everybody pretty much knows, is 1 Corinthians 15:52, at the last trump. So we have 7 seals and 7 trumpets to go from the book of Revelation. Okay. When I read my Bible, number 2, somebody is still here. Because after all this craziness, people are warned not to take the mark of the beast. And when you read through Psalms and Proverbs, it always says that somebody is not here, or somebody is here. You know yourself, you don't surrender territory to the enemy. I mean, the joke in office politics is possession is 9/10 of the law. Why would you give up the earth to your enemy? Okay? No. Somebody's still here holding the fort. 3. Everybody says, oh, we're going to come back with Jesus and reign for 1,000 years. Only the martyrs reign. You check it out. In Revelation 20, verses 4 and 5. Only the martyrs reign. And that's what Paul says, if I might be counted worthy to attain the first resurrection. Okay? He's talking about being accounted worthy to reign for those 1,000 years. 4, no fear. This is the book of the revelation of Jesus Christ, not the revelation of the Antichrist and all the nasty things that are going to happen. Okay? It is a story of God's ability to deliver you. I want you to think about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Probably the most terrifying adventure they ever had. And when they came out of it, were they talking about their fear at the beginning when they were bound up with ropes and going to lose their life? No. They talked about the fact they saw Jesus. And it is going to be the same. We are going into some rough waters, but we will see Jesus, and he will deliver. And it will be a testimony to the power of God, not because, whatever, me. Number 5, the path is always through. It is an avoidance. God is a big God. He's not scared. Okay, the devil and God are not equal. The devil was a servant, okay, in the house of the Lord. They had a civil war. He took off with 1/3 of the people, or 1/3 of the angels that he convinced somehow that he could make this happen. But he doesn't live in the future, okay? He's not omniscient and omnipresent like God is, okay? And God sees the end game, all right? So the path is through, not to avoid. And this is my problem with the auditorium church, okay? They've got you convinced it's almost pay to play. You come to church and you sit in the auditorium and you listen to everybody and you pay your tithes and you go home and you think you got your Sunday school pin that's going to get you in. This is about relationships. You know, my closest friends, they know the garage code, okay? And some of them know where I store my emergency cash. And, you know, and where my logbook is for my passwords. That's a relationship thing, okay? So, no fear. God is not looking for fourth graders playing on the playground. He's looking for a SEAL Team 6 warrior that is on furlough. You know, he's home on vacation, and he's at that same playground, and he is going through and doing the exercises to keep in shape. He's not looking for the auditorium church person that just sort of checks in, puts his money in a basket, and thinks that's the ticket. If you could go back in time and you could say to the people in the Depression, okay, without affecting the space-time continuum, you know, warn them, what would you say? You'd talk about the importance of community, of self-sufficiency, of getting out of debt, of having tangible assets, solid life skills, but most of all, no fear. All right? So I want you to start reading the book of Revelation. That's the only book that promises a blessing for those that read it. But we've been so scared about the future that we haven't opened up our eyes and read it. But I want us to wake up, because the times are getting dark. The church is like the virgins, you know, 5 wise, 5 foolish. I want to be one of those that has enough strength and internal fortitude, whatever, and preparation, that I make it all the way through. I don't think the church is the established church, the auditorium church, the active believer, whatever you want to say. I don't think any of us disagree about whether the book of Revelation and rough times are coming. The question is when and how long, okay? And there are some people that I love very much that think, I'm going to miss all the excitement. I'm not going to have bragging rights like Shadrach and Meshach and Abednego. I'm going to be out of here, and I'll leave a note behind for the people that are stuck in the mess. It's like being a first responder and you want the discount at Subway, okay? You want the uniform. But when it comes to pulling people out of the fire, you really don't want it because you might get your uniform messy. I don't have any patience for that. And I'm sorry if this is a rant. We will go through the 5 different issues that I talked about in separate YouTube videos. But and I will have scriptures for all of them. And I'm sorry if I burst your bubble. I remember when this realization first dawned on me, and I was not happy. But I would rather tell you now the ugly truth, okay? So that you are psyched up and emotionally prepared than feeling like you've been betrayed. And I sometimes wonder if that's why there is a falling away of the churches. A lot of people think they're gonna get out of here before the 7 seals and the 7 trumpets, and they don't have to worry. Now, I'm going to tell you the ugly truth because I love you enough to tell you. So the 5 issues are timing, okay? It's at the last trump, okay? So we have 7 seals and 7 trumpets to go. So be prepared mentally. Somebody's still here because of the timing of the warning to not take the mark of the beast. Only the martyrs reign, okay, for those 1,000 years. Those are the people that are absolutely all in. They gave their life. They are absolutely committed. They're not running at the first sign of trouble. This is the revelation of Jesus. The book of Revelation is the most glorious, amazing thing, okay? And the path is through. It's not to avoid. Think of any time in the Old Testament or New Testament. Did God give people a ticket out? No. Okay, people went through, but the testimony was how amazing God was in the middle of that. So, hope you still love me, even though I told you some ugly truths. We'll talk more about each one of those 5 later. But I love you. Hang in there. It's going to be terrifying. It's going to be amazing. And you will have bragging rights, okay? And God is able. Have a fabulous day. All God's best.